WURD. Independent Black Media.
On nights like this, I ride. Turn the music up to keep from crying. Wait till that sunshine. Please don't let the darkness keep me low halfway to the home base, yeah. Like a field trip, whoa. It's a real trip. And over your head, it's a guilt trip, yeah. To the south side, wow. It's a real trip. It's not a quick trip. It stays with you, love taxes, it's a real trip. On nights like this, I ride. Turn the music up to keep from crying. Wait till the sunshine. Please don't let the darkness keep me low halfway to the home base, yeah. Like a field trip, whoa. It's a real trip. I'm asking who can save me? You can't bait me. You can't bait me. Who can save me? Know that you can't bait me.
Hello, 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 loves. You are tuned into WURD Radio. This is Save Space, and I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita. Today is Monday, February 8th, 2021, a perfect day to turn our intentions into action through conversation. Happy Black History Month to you. Shout out to all the folks who are tuned in on 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming Word TV on wordradio.com, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch, and of course, everyone who's listening in crystal clear on the free Word app, which is available in the Apple app and Google Play stores. So make sure you go download that. And if you are tuned in on Word TV via Facebook Live, you already know, tap the share button, start a watch party. You know how we do things around here, y'all. We don't just save space. We take it up. We own some too, especially in these internet streets, okay? Shout out to Kayla J, holding down the phone lines, the board, and everything in between. Kayla J, how are you, love?
Look at you getting choked up at the mention of my name. Look at that. Look at that getting choked up.
Don't start your mess. Hey, girl, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was good. How was yours? I saw you being all fashionable with your little shoe.
Listen, this weekend was absolutely packed. We got to start with Friday, right? So the Friday edition of This Source with Tiffany Bacon became somewhat of a special edition of Safe Space. I got to hold it down for Tiff while she was out, and I don't know about you guys, I had a good time. It was so much fun. It was very different doing the show during the day, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as opposed to at night, when we're easing off the day. We're bringing it down together. But it was a great time. We had some great guests. Because we had a snow day last Monday, right? Y'all know Joanna Jane usually joins us for Coins and Conversation. We wanted to make sure we still got her on the airwaves last week. And so she was gracious enough to be able to join us during that show and kind of bring the Coins and Conversation segment to that hour. So we had Joanna Jane, we had Sierra Lambert, who is the co-chair of the Philadelphia Arts and Culture Task Force, and her co-chair, Raheem Manning. They joined us to chat about the Arts and Culture Community Town Hall that actually is happening tonight. So I hope that's going well. And then we had Alicia Pinkney, who is a global designer for Timberland and founder of the Black Talent Fund. She joined us to share her story on how she is helping Black students who are studying fashion and footwear in college. She's helping them through scholarships to be able to continue their education and to really get their foot in the door of these industries where we are largely underrepresented. So that was super dope just to see how, what started as an idea, as a way to do something last year in light of the civil unrest and racial injustice, all of these things that were happening. She found a way, and it's super dope to see her continuing to build this. So shout out to her. And then we also had David Hunter Jr., who is a content creator. He's host, and founder of Made for More Entertainment. And he joined us to talk about Black Hollywood, kind of behind the curtain. It was a really great discussion, just exploring what it's like for actors and actresses in the industry who are, really striving to build a career and also just facing, what feels at times like insurmountable odds. But it was really dope. So I appreciated that. That's how my weekend kicked off. And then from there, on Saturday, I had the photo shoot. Hania Sharp Brown and I, my best friend, are launching a new series called Boss Besties. And so that is going to air on the new Clubhouse app as well as Instagram Live. It's going to be the third Friday of every month at 7 p.m. So our first show will be Friday, February 19th. So we want to do a photo shoot, have some fun with it. And it was just Black excellence through and through. Shout out to Ira Anthony. He was on the makeup. My girl Danny J was on the hair. We did the shoot at the Gallery Philly, which is a Black-owned studio and creative community. And then Sabria Rogers of Something Dope Photography was behind the lens. So it was just a good time. We had fun. There's no other way to put it. We had fun, and I'm super excited about the shots. I cannot wait to share them. We did some together. We took some individual ones. It was just a good time. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, I Netflixed and chilled. I watched Malcolm and Marie multiple times. It is so good. If you have not seen it, I definitely encourage you to check it out. I absolutely loved it. I'll probably watch it again before the week is out. There's so much in there to unpack. Bea and I were watching it, and we kept having to pause throughout it to just process this conversation that this couple is having on one of the biggest nights of their lives. And, it should be a joyous occasion, but it really ends up turning out that it reveals the cracks in the relationships. And it all started with his failure to say thank you in an acceptance speech, or excuse me, in a speech he was given at the premiere of a screening. So really dope. Check that out on Netflix. I did not tune into the Super Bowl. Kayla J, did you get to watch it?
Yeah, I watched the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really tune into it. I wasn't home, but I can tell you, if I was, it darn sure for me wouldn't have been on. I'm still standing with Cap, but we were over our family's house, and they had it playing. I ended up taking a nap. I ate, and then I took the itis kicked in, and that was a wrap. But I'll tell you one thing: if the feedback on the NFL's commercial for their Inspire Change initiative is any indication of where folks are at with just social justice and within the NFL, it's clear that there are a lot of folks that are still standing with Cap. Back in June, the NFL pledged to commit $250 million over a 10-year period to various methods designed to combat systemic racism through that initiative. So over on his Instagram, Cap was sharing posts from folks who continued supporting him, one of whom is Mariah Carey. So she tweeted, "Happy Colin Kaepernick Appreciation Day." So, some of the media outlets picked that up, and, the shade towards the NFL, Super Bowl, all of that. But I do want to keep that appreciation going and play a short clip from 2016 when Cap told reporters in a locker room why he chose to sit during the national anthem and why he will continue to do so. So I think we got that queued up. Kayla J, you think we're ready?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we're going to throw this back. I know it's not Throwback Thursday, but I just think, let's get back in touch with what started all of this anyway. So here, take a listen.
I mean, ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust, people aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change. That's something that, this country stands for: freedom, liberty, justice for all, and it's not happening for all right now. I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change, and when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standards.
Hey, NBC News fans.
Shout out to Cap. It's not right. And he continues to take a stand through his Know Your Rights organization. They do a lot of work in the community, a lot of work around informing folks of their rights and, just continuing to move the needle on social justice. And just FYI, he still is not employed by the league. So, yeah, still standing with Cap. Said all that to say that. But anywho, Kayla J, it's Monday, Motivation Monday. Got a question for you. You already know. I want to know what's motivating you this week.
I don't know.
Don't sound so tired about it. We just started.
We just started and it feels long already. I was telling a friend that I feel like this fitting to be a long week. Woke up definitely thinking today was Tuesday, and it's not. It's Monday. So
yeah, we ain't there yet.
Yeah, I really don't know what's motivating me. I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit weary. It's starting to kick in. Maybe a late cabin fever. Everybody was feeling it, but now I'm really feeling. I done finished 3 books already this year, and it's only February.
Listen, I just bought my third
and I don't
book
even like to
today.
read. I'm being honest. Like, I'm not a reader. That's not my thing. I watch TV. But I've been tired of television, which is crazy because I have a degree in media criticism. Like, I literally went to school to watch TV.
And you're like,
Yeah, I'm bored.
That's so crazy because I had that same thought today. I finished Cicely Tyson's book, Just As I Am. And I thought that was going to be like my February read. And once that was done, I was like, oh, okay, I think I finished this in about a week or so. What am I going to do now? So I headed over to Barnes & Noble's because I actually ended up purchasing another copy of the book to give as a gift to someone, and end up picking up another book. And I was just like, sis is out here reading, like just on a mission. And it's happening organically. I didn't set any kind of goals or anything, but I'm not mad at it. I've been having some really good reads. I started the year with Glennon Doyle's Untamed, and then from that went on to Cicely Tyson's Just As I Am. And so I actually have to get the other book, and I'll let y'all know what that is. I haven't started it yet. I will start that tonight. And we'll see how it goes. But loves, I want to know what's motivating you this week. So call in. Let's get the positive energy going. We're going to make sure, Kayla J gets ready for this week. All right. We going to say that this week flying by. Okay. We ain't having a long drawn out. We're going to get some stuff done this week. We're going to have some major wins. We're going to have some blessings. We're speaking all of that into this week. We're going to impact lives for the better. We're going to rest up. We're going to enjoy ourselves and, do what we do. But anyway, let me know what's motivating you. Call in 215-634-8065. Again, 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free, 866-361-0900. Again, 866-361-0900. If you are tuned in over on our WURD TV Facebook live stream, you can, drop your response in the comment section. Let us know what's motivating you. Shout out to Kirsten. She said love. Love is what's motivating her this week. Over on Instagram at KAMore302 said family. Family is what's motivating him this week. So I want to know what's motivating you. What's keeping your eyes focused on the finish line that is Friday for the majority of us. Anyhow, what's motivating me is honestly the desire to help tell the stories of Black founders and entrepreneurs. I've been doing a lot of work around that, even more so for Black History Month behind the scenes, and now a lot of it is starting to come to the forefront of the scene. So I'm excited about that because my hope is that it will ultimately drive support of their businesses and continue efforts happening all around the country for us to buy Black. Right, to bet on our community and the entrepreneurs who far too often are underrepresented, underfunded, and quite frankly, underestimated. And so, I really do count myself blessed that I get to work at this intersection of marketing and communication, journalism, and radio. Because that has really afforded me this kind of unique opportunity to leverage platforms and relationships for the benefit of our folks, right? And a new partnership is now the result of that, which actually brings me to the lineup for today's show, because at 7:30 p.m., we're officially kicking off the Bet on Black interview series. In honor of Black History Month, WURD Radio has partnered with Black and Brown Founders, which is a nonprofit organization, through our Livelihood Initiative in an effort to highlight Black entrepreneurs who bet on themselves and our community. And so in addition to the social media campaign aspect of it, which you can follow along over on Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag Bet on Black 2021. So hashtag Bet on Black 2021. In addition to that, WURD is also saving space right here on the show for founders to tell their stories. And we'll be doing that throughout the month. And so tonight we'll welcome Pamela Prophet of Asia Couture Intimate Events. I call her Mom Pam. I know her well. I love her much. And so I'm really excited that she nominated herself for this series. And the nomination forms are still open. I will make sure we get those details out to you. If you head to wordworks.com and just scroll down, you'll see the hashtag for the campaign, and you can submit there. But I'll also make sure we drop it in the WURD TV live stream. We've received well over 50-something submissions from Black entrepreneurs all across the country. So to be able to tell those stories is just something that is motivating me and that I'm truly thankful for. So we'll be talking with Pamela Prophet at 7:30, and then at 8 p.m., Joanna Jane, y'all know, our licensed financial professional and friend to the show, is going to join us for Coins and Conversation. This time around, we are focusing on business credit. Not your personal credit, your business credit. Got to keep it right, keep it tight. All right, so you already know class is in session when Joanna Jane comes around, so be ready for that. All right, and with that said, we got to go ahead and take a quick break. It is 22 after the hour. When we come back on the other side, I'll let you know a bit about what's buzzing on these internet streets, because there is quite a bit happening this week as well. All right, so you're tuned in to Save Space on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita, and we'll be back after these messages.
Looking for an exciting and well-paying new career opportunity? MCAP is a free manufacturing career accelerator program. In just 7 weeks, learn new career skills, earn industry certifications, and connect to manufacturing companies who are hiring. To see if MCAP is right for you, call 215-770-7101. That's 215-770-7101. MCAP is brought to you by Drexel University's Goodwin College of Professional Studies in partnership with EDSI Incorporated. MCAP is an equal opportunity program. Diverse candidates, including women and people of color, are strongly encouraged to apply.
An undercover FBI lawyer infiltrates a group of Bay Area climate activists in A Spy in the Struggle by award-winning author Aya De Leon. Sexy and gripping, A Spy in the Struggle is an espionage novel that puts a uniquely Black, feminist lens to the issues of climate change, social justice, and corporate corruption. The Washington Post calls it a passionately felt thriller that will have you on the edge of your seat. Pick up your copy of A Spy in the Struggle and visit ayadeleon.com. That's AYADELEON.com.
Want the latest in WURD swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on wordradio.com. Show the world that you're all about Black. Talk Media. Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Always saying something, keep it on a always saying something, it's a lot of nothing, it's a lot of nothing. Everyone around me thinks I'm up and coming, how they really coming? I'ma keep it going, I don't got instructions, end of the discussion. Damn right, hoping make them stand right, hoping make them get light. Outright, I'ma say it outright, only in the moonlight. Fast lane, trying to find a last way, driving by my past pain. Last train, if I catch a last train, I'ma beat the road way. Oh, yeah. stuck, maybe I'm doing too much. Oh, could have been luck, but maybe I ain't doing enough. It's so safe to stay in season. This time flies, so do my reasons to change for me. Always in my feelings, always in your feelings. Do we really sick of all the preaching? Like your friend of Jesus, but have you really? Everyone around me thinks I found my calling. Are they really? I'ma hit the ceiling, been staring at the ceiling. Think about it. Cocaine, just another slow day. Finna walk in my pace. I pray I won't take the highway. I'ma take the long way. Laid back, we could take it way back. I could give it up like that Marvin Gaye track. Who believe that? Baby, best believe that. Yeah. Maybe I'm stuck. Maybe I'm doing too much. No. Could have been luck, but maybe I ain't doing enough. It's so safe to stay in season. This time flies, so do my reasons to change for me. Maybe I'm stuck, maybe I'm doing too much. Could have been luck.
You are back listening to Save Space on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita. And listen, before we get to our guest who is on the line, I just want to give you a little bit of what's buzzing out here in these streets, right? So first, is coming from via the desk of the Philadelphia Inquirer. I'm sure many of you may have heard, but the city announced today that the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia has stepped in, I should say, to help vaccinate teachers and staff at all schools across the city. That new vaccination program is expected to begin by the end of this month. It's going to include staff at all district, charter, independent, and parochial schools, as well as at child care centers and pre-K providers. So classroom aides, cafeteria workers, they are also included. And this announcement came as teachers and staff protested outside their buildings today, stating a fear of the ventilation systems in our schools, just not being sufficient enough to address the potential spread of COVID-19. And I actually rode past a couple of different schools today and saw the teachers out there. Honey, they was bundled up with their signs up. They are not playing. So that's a bit of the buzz on the local front. On the national front, this coming via the desk of the New York Times. The second Senate impeachment trial against Trump will start tomorrow following the insurrection that took place at the Capitol on January 6th. The House has charged Trump with inciting that. And so today, Senate leaders agreed on a plan for the proceedings. That came as Trump's lawyers submitted a 78-page brief. Okay, they submitted a 78-page brief to the Senate denying that he was responsible for the attack and arguing that an ex-president could not be tried by the Senate. House Democrats continue to stand their ground in their filing, alleging that he, quote unquote, willfully incited the insurrection and that he is, in fact, subject to a Senate impeachment trial. So what happens now? Well, shout out to the New York Times for laying it out for us. Here's what they're saying, right? So tomorrow, Tuesday, it's expected to be 4 hours of debate on whether the trial is constitutional, followed by a procedural vote. And just for some context, again, the question being asked is whether a former president can be tried by the Senate for high crimes and misdemeanors. No former president has ever been. However, the Senate did try a war secretary in the 1870s after he left office. So if a simple majority of senators agree to move forward, which is expected, the main part of the trial begins, which takes us to Wednesday. The span they're giving is sometime between Wednesday and Sunday. There will be 16 hours of oral arguments per side. And then Sunday into next week, senators will, present their questions. There could be a possible debate over witnesses and even a verdict. So just a note, last week, Trump declined Democrats' offer to voluntarily testify at his trial. It has yet to be decided whether they will try to subpoena him or any other witness. Once that witness question situation is resolved, the trial will conclude with closing arguments and a final yay or nay vote on whether to convict Trump. So, y'all, let's get ready. Okay, we said we've been saying all last year into this year, you got to continue to apply pressure. We want accountability, and so this is a part of the process. All right, so we're gonna see how this thing plays out. And then last but not least, of a little bit of what's buzzing in the streets, and this is coming via the desk of the Philadelphia Tribune. Cheney University is among 16 new schools joining the Growth with Google HBCU Career Readiness Program. That is an initiative that will help train 20,000 HBCU students in digital skills throughout this year. So through a $1 million investment in the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, the program will provide digital skills workshops in HBCU career centers to help students prepare for the workforce. That program is part of Google's $15 million commitment to help Black job seekers learn new skills in partnership with National Workforce Development Organization. So pretty dope development there. We'll keep an eye on it on the other schools, see what they have going on. I want to see if we can possibly get someone on the show to talk a bit about that. But now it's time to bring someone on whom I am so excited to chat with. I told you all a little earlier about the Bet on Black campaign that WURD Radio has partnered with Black and Brown Founders on, right? A nonprofit organization serving Black and Latinx entrepreneurs. And so this is happening through WURD's Livelihood Initiative. The goal is to highlight Black entrepreneurs who bet on themselves and their community. And so there's the social media aspect of it, which you can check out on Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag BetOnBlack2021. But we're also going to be doing interviews with the founders here on the show. And so our first interview is with Pamela Profit, who is the founder of Asia Couture Intimate Events. I know her as Mom Pam because I've known her for years, and I sent her the nomination form because, founders and entrepreneurs can nominate themselves. You don't have to be nominated by someone else. And I was so glad to see her name on that list of more than 50 founders and entrepreneurs from across the nation who bet on Black, right? They bet on themselves in our community. So with that said, Pamela Profit, Mom Pam, how you doing?
Hi, daughter. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Listen, I'm so glad that you nominated yourself in Asia Couture Intimate Events. For folks who are meeting you for the first time, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and about Asia Couture Intimate Events?
Sure. Let me again say thank you for having me. Thank you for submitting the form to me. I love what you're doing, and of course, we should be betting on ourselves. So thank you for that. A little bit backdrop about Asia Couture. The event is called, my event space is called Asia Couture Intimate Events. The name Asia Couture is actually my daughter's name. Her name is Asia Couture, and we took the AH off the end per my son and said, Mom, just take the AH off because couture speaks for itself. But it's named after my daughter, Asia Couture, and we're located in Elkins Park. We've been open for about a year now, and what it is just a little bit of my backdrop. I was raised by my grandparents, and of course, being raised by your grandparents, you learn how to cook at a very early age. So your grandparents teaches you all of the recipes and things of that nature. And so I've learned to cook and was cooking a full-course meal by the age of 12. I was raised also with my uncle, who's just a little bit older than I am. And we started doing decorating and events and weddings and birthdays and parties. And so over the last 25 years or so, we would just go out and we would do events and we would, just have a grand old time doing it. And so what I decided to do was I said, hey, we've been doing this a long time, going to places, going to graduations and things of that nature, making it beautiful and good food. I want to do this for myself, but as opposed to going to events, I wanted to bring events to me. And so back in 2019, Asia Couture Intimate Events was birthed, but it came to fruition through a lot of hard work. And I was determined at the age of 44, I went to school, and I said, you know how there's a saying, I don't know if you've heard of this cliche, that we are a jack of all trades, but a master of none. I don't know if you heard that, but we used to say that. And I said, I don't want that title. I want to learn the business. I want to be legit. And so at the age of 44, I went to college and I got my bachelor's degree. And so it took me 6 years. It took me 6 years to get my bachelor's degree, but at the age of 50, right around my 50th birthday, I completed the program. I graduated, got my bachelor's degree. And then after that, I wanted to go a step further because then I wanted to get my EIN and I wanted to do all of the everything I needed to do to be a legit business. So then I registered after graduation. I registered for Temple Small Business Development Corporation, and that was like a 12-week program. So I took that program, and in that program, it taught you how to do your business plan. It told you what you needed to do to build a solid business plan. So when I was going after my business and seeking loans and things of that nature, I had a solid plan. And so what I did was I took my time. Yes, it took till I was 50 years old, or actually I graduated at 50, but I didn't get the event space literally until I was 56, going on 57. And I throw my age out there, and I'm transparent because it just goes to show we don't have to have an age limit. You do follow your dream. It doesn't matter your age. You can be 70. If you have a passion and if your heart is in it, just go for it. So it took me about 6 years after graduating college, after going to Temple Small Business, after seeking and searching. And then finally, back in 2018, Asia Couture was birthed. And so I signed my lease in 2018, and then 2019 I had my grand opening and been pressing my way forward ever since. So that's pretty much the backstory on how Asia Couture got started and got formed. And I'm a new baby with it. I'm a brand new business owner, and so I'm learning a lot through it, but that was my beginning stages of it.
So what does betting on black mean to you?
Betting on black means for me, first and foremost, is betting on yourself. You bet on yourself. You have to first believe in yourself that, hey, I want to do something, and I know it's not going to happen overnight, but I'm willing to put in the work to get it done. So to bet on black, for me first, starts with me. So once I made up in my mind that I was going to bet on black with me, and no matter what the obstacle was, and let me share you, there's a lot of twists and turns in betting on yourself and making your dream come to pass. So I betted on me first. I made sure that I was solid in what it is that I wanted to do. It was a lot of trial and error. You know, when you're betting on yourself first, you got to walk in this thing, and you got to be like, never mind what the next person is saying, never mind what it looks like. You know, don't listen to the naysayers. Just stay focused on your path. So starting with me, betting on black with me, helped me propel to wanting to assist and work with others in betting on black. So I started with me. I built my confidence up. I knew that I can do this. Pam, just stay the course, stay in the race. Just do this. Build your brand. Build your business. It starts with you. You get your head in the game, it's easier to extend yourself to other people. So once I was solid, once I knew that I had this, I mean, you're nervous when you're going into business for the first time for yourself because you're taking a lot of chances, not just with yourself, but with people need to take a chance on you to trust that, hey, I got this. So once I got comfortable with what I was doing, the direction and the path that I needed to go in to get it done, and opened up my doors with its challenges, but glory be to God, they're still open, I was able at that point to start paying it forward. And so in paying it forward, now I'm able to give back to my community. Back in 2016, I was able to pay it forward. I picked a shelter in my community, and I never forget it. It was the best experience ever. I picked the shelter, and I didn't have my venue space at that time, but I did have my EIN, and I knew where I was going, and I knew that I wanted to pay it forward. So we picked the shelter. We went in that shelter. I spoke with the director. I said, hey, I would like to cater a Christmas bazaar here. I said, not only cater the bazaar with the food, but I wanted to gift every child. And so that's what I did. I did request some donations. I got a little bit of help, and I was grateful for that. But 85% of those funds came directly out of my pocket. But, Sarita, the joy and the satisfaction on the faces of those children and the parents and the staff, my heart was so overwhelmed and my heart was so full of joy at the end result. I knew that I was at the right place at the right time. I knew that I was walking in my destiny. I knew that I was on the path of doing what it is that God has instructed me to do. I'm a giver by nature, and it's just who I am. I am a giver, but to be able to step out and feed and clothe and give 169 people 85% of my own money just filled me up with so much joy. So that was the start of me really, really understanding what it is to give back and pay it forward. I've done other endeavors since then, but that was my first one that I took off once I knew that I was comfortable with what I was doing and how I was doing it. You don't always see how it's going to pan out. You just know in your heart that this is, I got to do this. I didn't see where the money was coming from or how I was doing. I just knew that it was the right thing to do. And so paying it forward and giving back within my community, it's a joy, Sarita, because it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about giving back to others, and that's where the joy comes from. And now the key is to make sure I'm looking out for my people. Not that I can't give to other organizations and support other people, I do, but giving back within my own community, it's just a great feeling to be able to do that.
Yeah. I want to take a quick break, but loves, if you're just tuning in, I'm chatting with Pamela Prophet of Asia Couture Intimate Events. In honor of Black History Month, WURD Radio has partnered with Black and Brown Founders, which is a nonprofit organization serving Black and Latinx entrepreneurs. Through our Livelihood Initiative, we are highlighting Black entrepreneurs who bet on themselves and their community. So we got the social campaign popping. You can follow the hashtag BetOnBlack2021. You can join the conversation through that hashtag by sharing, what does bet on Black mean to you, right? Or how do you bet on Black? Over on social media, use that hashtag and respond to either of those questions. As we take this quick break, though, I want to open the phone lines. If anything that Mom Pam, as I call her, if any of it, her story has resonated with you, or maybe you just have some words of encouragement, especially around, for those of us who may believe it's too late for our dreams to materialize or to go after them. Pamela Prophet is an example, a prime example that it's not too late. No matter how long it may take, you can get it done. So the phone lines are open again, 215-634-8065. Again, 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free, 866-361-0900. Again, 866-361-0900. You are listening to WURD Radio 96.1 FM, 900 AM. This is Safe Space. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita, and we'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? I know you know the word, no, not the station, but this word, J-O-B, that is. And our friends at Amoroso's Baking Company are hiring right now. Amoroso's has been baking the delicious bread in our community for over 100 years, and they want you to join their team today. The old and the young love Amoroso's, and they are hiring right now. Check it out. They offer fair pay and provide health, dental, and prescription plans after 90 days employment. Call 856-754-0355 or visit amorososbaking.com for details.
Listen to Laborers Live. We created the weekend, we created the 40-hour work week. We just want enough to feed our family, be able to send our children to college, and let our next generation do better than we did.
To people that might have forgot how important unionism is in a country like the United States. People now infringing on our 8-hour work day, trying to work people more than 8 hours without overtime, trying to work people without benefits. In the long run, everybody's getting a fat paycheck except the worker. So this is really a wake-up call for America.
The struggle is continuous. Tune in to Laborers Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Sponsored by LESIT, the Laborers Employers Cooperation Education Trust of the Laborers District Council of Philadelphia and vicinity.
Local 332, Sam Staten Jr. Business Manager. Local 57, Esteban Vera Business Manager. Local 135, Dan Woodall Jr. Business Manager. Local 413, James Harper Jr. Business Manager. The Laborers District Council, Ryan Boyer Business Manager, and Tony Staten, Executive Director of LESIT.
Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Last time you saw me, I was shaking. I will admit that I was lost, but all the punches that I've taken, they built me up, but while you got soft, I know you think it's so rough, but we ain't done. You turn it up and I took the heat. You turned around and thought I was weak. You let your guard down, forgot to ride down. Now I'm coming back around.
You are back listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I am your host, Sincerely Sarita, and I am chatting with Pamela Prophet of Asia Couture Intimate Events as part of our Bet on Black interview series that will be happening all throughout Black History Month. So make sure you stay tuned for continued updates and guests that'll be joining us to share their stories, specifically Black entrepreneurs and founders who bet on themselves and their community every day. Y'all know we live this, we bout this, and so we're telling those stories. Mom Pam, I want to jump back in because you spoke a bit about, having to overcome challenges. And I know for many small businesses, especially Black-owned small businesses, the pandemic hit hard. It hit hard. And so curious to know, as a catering and event-based business, how has it affected? Like, how has your business fared during the pandemic?
Oh, that's a loaded one right there, daughter. It has. It has. Remember, in me telling the story, I signed my lease in November of 2019. My doors opened in January of 2020. COVID hit in March of 2020. So from March to August, there was no business. There was no business. Again, I make money when people, have baby showers or weddings or corporate meetings or birthday parties, retirement parties, things of those nature. So without any of that, of course, and the world pretty much shut down, we couldn't open. But by the grace of God, I really honestly tell you, the doors never closed. I was able to pay my rent every single month. You asked me how I do it. All I can say is, but God. And during that time, I will say in the first month, I had some friends and family that helped me pay my rent. But after that, I had to figure it out. And so for 5 straight months, nothing happened. But I knew, because I was walking in my purpose, and I knew that because I was doing what I was doing from my heart, that God was going to work this out. And he did, and he worked it out, and I was able to keep my doors open, and they are still open till this day. But I do want to share that there are many of my colleagues who did not survive it. We're a very small business, Black owned, and some of us, we support and encourage each other throughout our journeys of starting a small business, and several did not make it. And so you just have to keep grinding. And Sarita, it scares you. I was so terrified when the doors closed right after I opened 2 months late. 2 months later, the doors closed, and I knew that my landlord was saying, you still have to pay your rent. And I've had to figure it out because I didn't have any bargaining power or negotiation power, and so I thought at the time, to say, hey, can we at least negotiate half of it, or can you put something on the back end? I had no idea. I was so nervous about him saying that you would have to go because I just opened up. I figured it out. But many of us didn't make it. Many of us did not make it. I'm grateful that I came out on the other end and that I'm still standing. And that is why, as I'm rebranding, because my door is still open, I am looking forward to hiring Black-owned photographer, a Black-owned marketing brand to help me rebrand. Because you got to come back with a vengeance, and build. So I'm looking forward to, finding, giving my, my brothers and sisters, our Black-owned and Black and Latino community, an opportunity to come and work with me, help me rebrand, help me rebuild, help me take my brand to the next level. And I'm specifically going to do that with our people, with, Black and Brown and Latino, to come in and say, help me do this. But to answer your question, it was a journey. It was tough. Was I nervous? Yes. Was I afraid that I would have to shut down like so many others? Yes. But I knew that I had to figure it out and keep it going, and that's exactly what I did. I figured it out. I kept it going, and now I am happy to say I'm booked for February, March, April. Like, the bookings are literally coming in, which was why I'm able to say that I'm looking forward to partnering with my Black-owned small businesses, i.e. a photographer, i.e., a brand manager, i.e. other decorators that want to come in. It's a lot of pop-up photo booths and photo shops and all those different things coming up. I want to work with my brothers and sisters because we are in this together. And You are so right. We have to support one another. We have to support our own, because this is how we're going to break the cycle of being overlooked or looked down or looked at or looked past. When we support our own and we support ourselves and we bet on ourselves and we bet on each other, we can do this. We got this.
That's it. That's the mic drop right there. That is it. I know I got to get ready to let you go, but for folks who want to support Asia Couture Intimate Events, to follow the journey, to see you, continue to level up in your journey as a Black entrepreneur, a Black founder. What's the best way for folks to do that, especially if they, are looking to have a COVID-19 safe event, all of that stuff? How can folks get in contact with Asia Couture Intimate Events?
Absolutely. Follow me on Asia Couture. Instagram is Asia Couture Intimate Events. My webpage is www.asiacoutureintimateevents.com. You can Google me. I'm there. I'll pop up. I'm actually I'm getting there. I'm on the maps now. So do follow me. You can reach out to Sarita for me. If you can't find me, just ask daughter, which, as you can see, I'm Pam and she's daughter. You can reach through her. My son Asante, who has a clothing line, Optimistic Observation. That's my son Asante Prophet. You can follow me through him. He has an awesome following as well. And so I'm there. Just Google Couture Intimate Events and you shall find me.
All right. And Loves, that's Asia, ASIA, Couture, KETUR, Intimate Events. Okay? Asia Couture Intimate Events. Pamela Prophet, thank you so much. Number one, for betting on Black, but number two, for choosing a safe space with us today.
Thank you. And again, shoot me, inbox me, message me if there's any photographers or brand managers or, any of our small businesses that's seeking to link up or want a partnership with me. Please inbox me. Let's do this.
All right. There we have it. Y'all know we're stronger together, okay?
Yes, we're going to do this together, and we're going to work this out. And thank you for having me. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing, and I'm grateful that, I'm honored that I'm your first guest under this partnership, and I appreciate you. Thank you for thinking about me, and I love you, and you guys just move forward. And to my brothers and sisters of color, we got this. Let's just continue, not just Black History Month, but every month going forward. Amen.
365. There we go, y'all. All right. Listen, we got to take a quick break. You are listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. When we come back on the other side, we'll be chatting it up with the one and only Joanna Jane, 4 Coins and Conversation. We're talking business credit, so get ready for it. All right? We'll be back after these messages.
Today, millions of Americans face barriers to obtaining a college degree. But at WGU, we're setting out to change that. With a range of scholarships and grants aimed at expanding access to a quality education, making tuition more affordable, and giving students a path forward, we're helping people turn obstacles into opportunities. Because everyone deserves a chance to succeed. WGU. Ambition never rests. Visit WGU.edu to learn more.
As a business owner, hiring and developing people from the community that your company serves is one of the best ways to show commitment to that community. Let WURD Radio help with Livelihood, our new initiative that connects Philadelphians with companies like yours. We'll feature your business, open employment opportunities, and resources to connect your company with talent and ensure that you reach your target demographic. To learn more about how Livelihood can help you build your team, visit wordworks.com. That's WURDworks.com. Livelihood is supported by the Nightland Fest's Local News Transformation Fund, Borealis Philanthropies Racial Equity and Journalism Fund, and the Solutions Journalism Network. WURD Radio celebrates Black History Month with Black Artist Story 365, brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Welcome to Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. Get into this episode where we explore the art and artistry of revolutionary poet Nikki Giovanni. Yolanda Cornelia Nikki Giovanni Jr. was born in Knoxville, Tennessee to Yolanda Cornelia Sr. and Jones Gus Giovanni. In 1960, young Queen Nikki began her studies at her grandfather's alma mater, Fisk University in Nashville, as an early entrant. In 1967, she graduated with honors with a BA in history. In 1968, Giovanni attended a semester at the University of Pennsylvania and then moved to New York City. She was an active member of the Black Arts Movement beginning in the late 1960s. 1971's Ego Trippin' is one of Queen star Auntie Nikki's most famous pieces.
I walked to the Fertile Crescent and built the Sphinx. I designed a pyramid so tough that a star that only glows every 100 years falls into the center, giving divine perfect light. I am bad.
1978's Cotton Candy on a Rainy Day is one of her other more noteworthy collections of poems. She and the late James Baldwin wrote a book together, did you know that? Titled A Dialogue. The two authors speak blatantly about the status of the black male in the household. She published Those Who Ride the Night Winds in 1983. In 1988, volume Sacred Cows and Other Edibles, Acolytes, and On My Journey Now. There's also 2009's Bicycles Love Poems, Chasing Utopia, a hybrid from 2013, and that's literally just to name a few. So that's it for this episode of Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. To hear more, tune in to The Envy McKee Show, Friday nights, 7 to 10 p.m., right here on WURD.
Black Artist Story 365 is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Get to winning with Win-Win, the new scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery, with top prizes of $500,000. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. Grab your mic. It's time for Kayla J's Karaoke Song of the Day.
Yeah, yeah. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wandered from me, I wanna feel my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly me, and it's me. How deep is your love? It's your love. I really need to love, 'cause we're living in a fool world, yeah, breaking us down, yeah, when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
And hold the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think that I care for you when you know you're down inside. I really do. You need to show how deep is your love.
Save space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Yes, y'all, we got to get money, but as you're going to learn today, you got to get some business credit too, okay? We got Joanna Jane joining us for Coins and Conversation. Shout out to KJ Karaoke. The love runs deep around here, right? It runs so deep that we want to use this platform to do as much as we can to empower you in various areas, all areas of your life if we can, and finances is definitely one of them. So Joanna J, I like we literally, it feels like just talked yesterday because you joined me on the special edition of Safe Space, which was done in place of the Friday edition of The Source with Tiffany Bacon. So appreciate you for joining us on Friday, and now on Monday it's kind of a back-to-back deal, and each time, you know, you serve up everything we need when it comes to the money and now the credit as well. So first and foremost, how are you, love? Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Let me see. There we go. Oh, did we lose? God, try to get these technical difficulties here together. I see you. All right, so she's Skyping in because y'all know Joanna Jane usually Skypes in. So I can see Joanna, but Kayla J, I can't hear her. So I don't know if we can get that worked out. Let's try to get that worked out. But in the meantime, I want to shout out some folks who have been responding to our question of the day. You know, it's not just Money Monday, it's Motivation Monday, right? And so the question was, what's motivating you this week, right? We're starting to put out some positive intentions, get our focus right. And so shout out to our social media fam, always down to join the on-air conversation from online. April said hope. Hope is motivating her this week. And I'm seeing quite a few folks that's saying God. God is the motivation for this week. And I know that's right. I know that's right. We've got to keep the spirit right in order for everything else to align. It's funny, my eldest daughter and I were just talking yesterday about alignment because she's coming up on 16. So we're doing the driving process and all of that. And that word kept coming up when it was, you know, a matter of controlling the car and you know, just being mindful of your surroundings and being aware. And at one point she said, that's the word of the day, alignment. Yes, forget the day. We going 2021 it. That's the word, the message for 2021 is all about alignment, right? Making sure that you are properly positioned, I should add, properly positioned to step into your greatness, right? To live out your calling, to impact the lives in which you are meant to touch. So that's just a little, hopefully a little motivational word to get your week off right. But let's try Joanna Jane again. I think we should be good to go now. You there? I still can't hear. I can't hear. Kayla J, we might have to get her on the phone line. Yeah, she's saying she's going to call in because I'm ready to have this conversation about business credit because yes, it's important. Cash is king. Don't get it twisted. You need that cash reserve, right? You need that money in the bank. But credit, listen, credit ain't nothing to play with, and it's not just your personal credit. We're talking about your business, right? The business credit and the doors that can open by you having a strong business credit standing. So if that is, I think Joanna, because I just heard I don't know if you moved something, but I could hear you moving it around, so I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Nope, we're just getting feedback. We're getting feedback. So yeah, let's go ahead and get her on the phone line, and we'll get it done like that. But yeah, this conversation, I am looking forward to it because we do oftentimes talk a lot about you know, cash flow in business and all of that good stuff. Again, which is important, but credit, that the importance of it cannot be, you know, underestimated. Let's just put it at that. It cannot be underestimated. And so I think we may have Joanna on the line. Kayla J, we got her? I'm going to check in here, y'all, because tech ain't trying to let us be
have her.
great.
Joanna, we can see you. We're going to hear you on the phone, but I will see you on the Skype.
There we go. And so is she on the line? Can we bring her in?
Hi, lady. Can you hear me?
Sure. There we go. Okay, I can hear you now. Hello, love. How you doing? We got it worked out. And thank you, loves, for bearing with us as we figure this out live on radio. You know, we family. We gonna get it done one way or another. But yeah, Joanna Jane, how you doing, love? Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I am really excited to be here, as always, on Monday night, ready to talk about these coins, girl.
Yes, good. And we talking coins in the form of credit this time around. Business credit. Why for you was that important, or is that important for us to talk about, especially when we're thinking about, you know, our Black entrepreneurs, founders, our Black-owned businesses? Speak a bit about that if you can.
Yes, absolutely. This is one of the areas where, you know, I don't even know if I have enough fingers, toes, or whatever else to count. We all have bumped our head in this area, especially as brown people, because it's not a conversation that we often talk about. Number one, it's not something that's talked about or really known like that unless you've really been in a family of generational business owners and things of that nature. So I know for me, when I learned about business credit, I was like, wait a minute, that exists? I don't have to charge the office on my personal credit card, and now, you know, my utilization is so high and my credit score is dropping. And the personal things that I actually need to be doing, whether that be buying a home or buying a car or any other thing, is not being affected.
Gotcha.
So that's the reason why I wanted us to talk about business credit, because as we spoke about so many times, you know, especially with this still being the top of the year, they are saying, Sarita, in this pandemic, there are so many businesses being forced to start. I want people to be wise as they do this. So I wanted to be able to give a couple tips on how you can start business credit and how you can start eliminating that, accepting your personal credit.
Gotcha. All right, let's get into it. I'm ready.
All right. So when you are establishing business credit, and what I want people to think about is that although your business is your baby, it is exactly that. It is separate to you. Baby is no longer in you. You birthed the idea. You created, you know, the LLC or whatever entity you have put in place. It is separate to you. So you are your own corporation, and so is that business, and it should operate separate. So when you are establishing business credit, one of the things that you really want to make sure that you do is that your entities are in place, that you have created your business bank account. Does this sound familiar, like phone business? And we told people, this is like we tell y'all, follow these steps, so when the next gym comes, you're ready, right? So you created your business entity, you created your business account. Now, here is how you are able to start establishing business credit. So when you created your business account, when you created your business entity, you also created an EIN number. Well, the EIN number is basically like your Social Security number if we're talking about the personal use. Your baby, your corporation has its own Social Security number, quote unquote, right? So what you're going to do is now take that EIN number and you're going to go to something called Duns and Bradstreet. And this is where you're going to get a DUNS number. Let me tell y'all something. I reposted Sarita giving a recap from By the Block. I had to say this real quick. She does not play with the notes, and I already see her fingers making the moves on the keyboard. So I hope that y'all are keeping up, because by the time I am done with Sarita, she's going to own the block and have the best business credit out there.
Listen, got to get this credit. Listen, I got my business credit. We just want to see the numbers continuously going up. Okay?
That's right. You write it all down. So you're going to go and get your DUNS number. And when you get your DUNS number, now you have put in place where reporting can be done towards your actual business. Now you can be able to take that DUNS number and go out and start to request different lines of business credit, which is separate from your personal. Now, when you have a DUNS number, that allows you to go to a couple places. You can go and get vendor credit. So vendor credit is different to merchant credit. I'm giving y'all the real breakdown tonight. Vendor credit is different than merchant credit. So your vendor credit, guys, is, you know, the supplies that you may be buying for the office. It may be the tools that you need on a regular basis to run your business. You can do a number of things with business credit. But again, every right? So when you make those purchases, it should be linked to what type of account? Your business account, not your business, not your personal debit card, not your personal credit card. You're making all those purchases with your business account. So everything is a paper trail. A great thing about vendor lines, especially when you have when you're establishing business credit, you can make purchases on something called Net 30, NET, Net 30, meaning that I don't have to buy this right now. I can actually do a Net 30 payment, and it'll send it to my office within X amount of time for delivery, and I can just pay it within 30 days. The reason why you want to do this is because technically you have purchased it on good faith. You have purchased it on credit that within 30 days you are going to fulfill this payment, and this is how you're starting to actually establish the business credit, and your scores start to go up because they'll start to report out. Another difference between personal and business credit, God forbid you miss a payment or maybe the payment went in late, even the little ding that will happen, it doesn't take as long for your business credit to rebound as your personal credit. So your business credit can easily rebound in 30 days or less versus your personal credit. You take a harder hit with your score, and it may take you a minute to bounce back from that oversight.
Good to know. Listen, I'm over here taking my notes right now.
So this is why I'm saying, Sarita, it's important for us to know about this. Business credit runs off of the paydex score, not your FICO score. So, again, different place where you're going to check to see how your scores are actually doing really well. Now, for those that are thinking, how can I actually do this with my bank? I don't necessarily have, my bank is asking for my personal information to actually do some type of business line of credit. If you want to start there, what you can do is do a secured card through your business checking. What does that sound like? A secured credit card with your personal? It's the same thing, y'all. It's just different entities, different corporations. So you can actually establish a secured credit card with your business account and do the same thing. Make payments, do them timely, and now you're establishing a history with that banking institution, which later on, if you decide to actually transition it to an unsecured card or increase the limit, what are they looking at? Your tracking history with how well you were doing with those timely payments. What I will say is that your personal credit can play a factor at some point. It's very rare that you will hear people 100% establish business credit and they never had to be a personal guarantor. So you still want to work on your personal credit. This is not taking anything away from your own responsibility to have a good credit score, because you never know when it's going to come up. So you still want to work on, not overcharging, not being at the limit, keeping 30% or less, revolving credit used on a monthly basis. So all those things still do apply. But I want to tell you, when you add on your business expenses onto your personal expenses, you are basically taking on a whole nother life. Just think about that. Like, you're taking on another person that you have to buy food for, pay lights for, and you're putting that all on your income. And that is why a lot of times when we get into business, we end up hurting our credit because nobody shared this with us, Sarita. And now we have taxed ourselves out and we feel overwhelmed in the business growth process.
Yeah, one thing I know I've really been thankful for when it comes to business credit is, for my company, right, I do a lot of consulting, focusing on marketing and communications and all that kind of stuff. And so there are a lot of different services that I need to have access to. And so I'm able to, have those recurring fees go to my credit card and I pay them off every month. But, just not having to come out of pocket in that moment, or, sometimes business fluctuates, especially as a consultant. You might have an influx of clients that comes in and then it gets quiet for a little bit. And so business credit has really come in handy, and kept things afloat in times where things have gotten tight, but I still needed those services, didn't want to lose, special offers or whatever else the case may be. So that business credit, y'all, ain't no joke, okay? It can get you through some times. And I know a lot of small business owners, even in the midst of this pandemic, have really had to rely on credit to keep their doors open, to keep the bills paid, all of that. So this conversation is very, very timely. Loves, I want to open up the phone lines. I know in the WURD fam, we have folks who own businesses, who are entrepreneurs, and maybe you have some questions around business credit. Call in, chat it up with Joanna Jane. Let's see if maybe we can help get some questions answered, right? The hotline number is 215-634-8065. Again, 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free, 866-361-0900. Again, 866-361-0900. I would usually be able to see what's going on Facebook Live, but it looks like there's some tech difficulties happening over there. I'm telling you, Mercury retrograde is just all in the mix with these technical issues. But shout out to the folks who are tuned in over on YouTube, over on WURDradio.com. But as for the show, keeping it moving here, we're just going to go to the phone lines if, you have questions that we can hopefully get answered, okay? So, Joanna Jane, I'm going to go ahead. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back on the other side, we will keep this coins and conversation rolling. Loves, it is 20 after the hour. You are tuned in to Save Space on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita, and we'll be back after these messages.
Coping-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
If you're feeling increasingly lonely right now, you're not alone. It's totally normal. Even though we may not be able to get together in person, connecting virtually with friends and family still gives you a chance to interact with people and may help raise your spirits. Join a virtual book club, set up group text chats, or online video coffee breaks with coworkers.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Listen to Laborers Live.
We created the weekend. We created the 40-hour work week. We just want enough to feed our family, be able to send our children to college, and let our next generation do better than we did.
To people that might have forgot how important unionism is in a country like the United States. People now infringing on our 8-hour workday, kind of work people more than 8 hours without overtime, kind of work people without benefits. In the long run, everybody's getting a fat paycheck except the worker. So this is really a wake-up call for America.
The struggle is continuous. Tune in to Laborers Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Sponsored by LESIT, the Laborers Employers Cooperation Education Trust of the Laborers District Council of Philadelphia and vicinity.
Local 332, Sam Staten Jr. Business Manager. Local 57, Esteban Vera Business Manager. Local 135, Dan Woodall Jr. Business Manager. Local 413, James Harper Jr. Business Manager. The Laborers District Council, Ryan Boyer Business Manager, and Tony Staten, Executive Director of LESIT.
The WURD Radio Newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting WURDradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio, messages from our President and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the WURD Radio Newsletter. Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
are back listening to Save Space. I'm your host, sincerely, Sarita, and joining us, of course, on this Monday, as is the case, I should say, every Monday at 8 p.m. is Joanna Jane, friend to the show and our licensed financial professional. You know, she joins us for Coins and Conversation, and we are talking business credit today. Business credit. Joanna already laid out quite a few tips. And some insight, like the difference between vendor credit and merchant credit, the power of net 30. Okay, when you are using your business credit and you get that 30 days before you got to pay that invoice or pay that vendor. Some additional insight was, you know, it typically doesn't take as long for your business credit to rebound as it would say for your personal credit. That with business credit, they use the Paydex score instead of a FICO score. So those are just a few of the tips that I was jotting down. And she also talked about getting a DUNS number, right? And so I wanted to make sure I passed along the website for you to, you know, check out that, learn more about that process. You can go to dnb.com, dnb.com/DUNS, DUNS-number. Okay, so dnb.com/DUNS-number. All right, so I'm trying to bring you up to speed so you got the gems and you're ready. We're ready to move forward together, all on the same page. So Joanna Jane, let's jump back in. I know you said there were at least a couple of different things that you wanted to highlight around business credit. Those were some that you did prior to the break. And so what else do you have on your radar when it comes to business credit?
So another thing that I want you to be aware of, because sometimes people feel like, you might be hearing this and you're like, well, I mean, I don't have an office, Joanna. I don't need to purchase office furniture. I don't need to do this. Well, listen to this. Here's a little trick. So let's say you're in the real early stages, Sarita, your business. Still do everything that I just said. Some of these vendor accounts, I think one of them, the name is Granger. It's another one that's slipping me right now. Oh, Quill. Another one, that one is Quill. Some of them, they have toilet paper, dishwashing liquid. What does that sound like? Paper towel. Sound like household items to me, Sarita, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing that you would use at home. So you can still do this and start seasoning your business credit while you're still working primarily from home, or maybe you're still in the very early stages of your business. You can still get a secured credit card. Hold on now. I know a lot of us have got some different stimulus money and different things. It's all coming out at the same time. Remember when we talked about one of those things that you could do with this money that's coming through? If you have funded your personal emergency, if you have taken care of the other things that you needed to take care of, if you've even went the extra mile from the last time I told you guys to bless somebody, and we get ready to bless again, you could take this and go put $500 on your business bank account and do a secured credit card and start doing these little things. Remember, it's the little things you do along the way that proves that you are ready for elevation so it's what you do now over the little bit. Not saying that you have to take your whole stimulus check, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just saying this could be an option where you could take a portion and start seasoning your business credit and start doing these things with the different net 30 options that they offer from these various accounts. And if these are things that you can use in your home business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can start.
Listen, we just free game, y'all. Just free game that we're giving right now. I hope y'all catching the game and you know, are really thinking through, especially, you know, a lot of us in the midst of this pandemic, and I've talked about this before on the show, that I've seen a lot of folks launching home-based businesses, right? Especially with needing to develop some kind of supplemental income as things get worked out, you know, with whatever is going on with the pandemic and employment. That supplemental income for a lot of folks has become a home-based business. And so the goal, of course, as at least I'm understanding for a lot of home-based businesses, is for it to be successful, right? For it to grow. Maybe you don't necessarily, you're not looking to do a big corporation or something like that, but that still doesn't exempt you from doing business smart, right? To make sure that with this supplemental income, that you are using all of the tools, the tips, the tricks that are available to you, because you best believe rich folk, they doing it. Okay, they're using their credit. They're leveraging their credit to strengthen their financial standing, their businesses standing, and so there's no reason why we should not have that information and be applying it, because that's the important part. Joanna Jane and I can talk every Monday at 8 p.m. and toss out the free game and toss out the resources and the tips and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the application of it, right? It's going to come down to you saying, oh, yeah, I remember when Joanna Jane said, before you do anything else, make sure your savings reserves are in order, right? Make sure X, Y, Z. That's on you, baby. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, you know,
we can only do so much.
And he said, oh, Lord, somebody might, you might fall with this one, but he said, too many of us have the $1 million dreams and don't have the $1 million foundation for it to stand.
Mm.
And I said, wow. I said, that's so true. So many of us have these big creative ideas, and we just either have not been educated or we don't pause enough to invest in securing the foundation so we can be able to make sure that these ideas don't fall the minute that, God forbid, a pandemic hits or sales start to dial back, for a period. Because every business has its own season, just like there's winter, summer, same thing. Every business has its own season. Not every season is the top, for you. At least you don't start out, that way. So making sure that you are following these steps where you're establishing a business account, you're doing your taxes. There are a number of people that missed out, on PPP because one of the requirements was they needed to see tax returns, right? So you want to make sure whether you are a sole proprietor or whether you have decided to formally, incorporate your business, that you're doing some of these things when it comes to the foundation so you can continue to grow. And when your business tell you, Mom, Dad, I'm ready to grow up, that you have the business credit to leverage and say, we're going to increase, some of our supplies so we can be able to offer this service or this product to more people this month and take our business to this next level.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Joanna, because, this advice or, suggestions, I feel like would definitely be helpful for folks who are, early on in their business, in the infancy of their business. Is there a point where it becomes okay to go after business credit, or is it like, listen, once you got your business established, you got your EIN, you can also establish your business credit at that point in time? I mean, any insight around that, around like when is the right time to start building your business credit?
So I would say immediately. However, let me caution people because sometimes we get too excited and we think that we can go in a week and go request $20,000 in a line of credit from someone. That's just not what it is. So you have to be patient with your business. So if you started your business, but realistically speaking, can you start it immediately? Pretty much. I mean, you can go get a secured credit card tomorrow, right? As long as all of your documents are actually in order. However, what I would tell people is if you know that you are just transitioning from this side gig or this hobby and you're putting that into a business, but it's not something that you're really being serious with, be mindful of these things that you are creating because you do have to manage it. You do have business operating expenses. So I would say, quite honestly, for a business that really has been providing a substantial amount of income, meaning like if you can look at that income and that's something that is bringing you in $30,000 a year, and it's been about a year, you probably need to go ahead and start considering some type of business credit. And the reason I say give it at least a year, now still do all the other things, right? Still have your business bank account, still keep all your expenses separate, But I say a year, Sarita, because I see so many people that start businesses, they realize that it's not sweet and they give up, and now it's only been 3 months. Now you've done all of this stuff for nothing. So I would like to see businesses be in place for at least, actually operating businesses be in place for at least a year. Some places, depending on where you're going to request credit, we find that we see 2 years to be very common for the larger numbers in terms of lines of credit, at least 2 years. And that's why I tell people from the time you create your entity, immediately, you create that business checking account. So if they need to see how long you've had your business accounts in place, if the bank has to write a letter, there's a certain letter, and the name of it is not coming to mind, but there's a letter that the bank can give to you for that vendor or for that merchant to say that this business has been in place with us since XYZ time. But if you never did that, you don't have it. So they can't on your behalf. Yeah.
Got you. And so, Loves, just a reminder, phone lines are open. If you have any questions for Joanna Jane around business credit, feel free to join the conversation, get your questions answered. The hotline number is 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free, 866-361-0900. And we do Coins and Conversation every week as part of WURD's livelihood initiative, right? So you can also head over to wordworks.com. You can always catch past episodes or segments from various shows that all fall under the livelihood initiative. But there are a lot of resources for entrepreneurs there as well. So definitely just want to plug that and encourage you to head to WURD, that's WURD, wordworks.com. That's a resource hub for you. Okay, so make that, bookmark that page, and I would say check back weekly because it's always being updated with new opportunities, with news, with interviews, all of that good stuff. Joanna, I was thinking about, you mentioned the DUNS number. Is it possible to get business credit, whether, like a credit card, without a DUNS number as a business?
It is depending on what entity it is. So like if you're operating as a sole proprietor, you go to fill out the application, you wouldn't have a DUNS number more than likely. And if anybody knows me different that has way more business credit experience than I do, feel free to share, but you don't have a DUNS number. Then sometimes on the application, it may even say optional, but that does not mean that you still can't get business credit.
Yeah.
But what are you then putting it on? And you can't get a DUNS. One of the requirements to a DUNS number, it says your EIN number. So you'll, when you actually go to fill it out, that it's really a business platform, because the goal is for you to separate yourself and not have all those things on your personal credit. Now, I can tell you this, because I didn't clarify this earlier. I talked about vendor credit, right? But merchant credit is your credit cards like, Capital One business credit. They have I think it's called a business Spark card.
The Spark.
You have American Express has their business credit. Now, when you establish business credit, you are the guarantor, and this is where now your personal credit comes into play, because if you don't make that payment, it does end up affecting your personal credit.
Got you. That's good to know. we trying to move smart out here. We're trying to work smarter, not harder, for sure. Especially when it comes to your credit, because it get hard to prepare your credit once you messed it up.
Now, as you grow, there may be some credit cards out there that will solely just use your DUNS number and no guarantor, but there are not a lot of them. But most often we see that with businesses that have long-standing in terms of establishment. They have an actual, a real pay debt score that they can pull up, and they can see how long it's been in business. Those are for your real advanced businesses. That doesn't happen overnight. So you want to be patient with this process. Got you.
I want to make sure we covered as much as we possibly could cover in the roughly 40 minutes that we get to share on these Mondays. Is there anything else that you want to make sure folks understand about business credit?
I think that this is enough to wet the whistle to get you moving. So we talked about what phase would be best. I say if your business has been in place, seriously, for at least a year, go ahead and establish business credit. Get your DUNS number. You should at this point already have your business checking account. And let's be clear, even the business savings account. Treat your business, treat your baby the same way that we hopefully are treating ourselves, and we're making sure that we have a savings account, right? So as you have those things in place, get your DUNS number, establish some vendor lines of credit, utilize the Net 30 system, and make sure that you're paying it off. Don't even wait until the 30 days. Like, pay at 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of, if you can. And do it that way and be consistent with it. So that's what I would tell people to do. Just go ahead and get started.
Yeah, because I start to get antsy. I'm like, I need to pay this credit card off. I don't like the feeling on my spirit. It's like my spirit get disturbed. I'm like, no, we need to make a payment. I don't need to wait these 30 days. Come on, take this, clear that. I need to see that balance say 0. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing, Sarita. Here's a good one. Before you, the next time, depending on what level you are in your business, you could even consider getting your car in your business name. What you could do before you actually go out to these different car dealerships, call them on the phone and ask them, do they utilize Duns and Bradstreet? Are you able to get vehicles through business lines of credit? So that way, that is also separate from your personal credit. The reason why I say call ahead of time, because not every car dealership does it, and you want to avoid having to sit there for so long and have them run your personal credit. And as we all know, car dealerships are known to do a number on your Social Security card looking for financing, especially if your credit is not necessarily the best.
That's definitely good to know. Now, y'all, don't be out here just willy-nilly buying a car under your business name. You don't.
This is for people that are really in business. You are road warriors. Right. You utilize your car majority for business and your personal, needs. That's who that is.
Yeah, that it makes me think of shout out to FBF Body, Zakia Blaine, who she's been on one of the past shows before, but she just got her second warehouse for her company, and she's expanding, and I believe she has two business vehicles in her fleet, and they got the FBF branding all on them, and she does like mobile stuff. But that just made me think of like, y'all, this is, let's not scam and do all that extra stuff, okay? Because we need to make sure, again, that we're setting a firm foundation for the business, but also for the next generation, right? Because if this is something that you see as a tool, something that's going to generate that wealth that you can pass on and keep passing on, that each generation in your family can benefit from. That means you got to do this thing right, and you got to do this thing with integrity, and you're going to have to likely teach the next generation how to run the business and how to manage everything that you put into place. So, to whom much is given, much is required, and thankfully, we got Joanna Jane to guide us through all that is required when it comes to the money. Okay. No, but Joanna, I know we got to get ready to let you go. I want to make sure for anyone who may have missed when we chatted on Friday, you dropped a new book. So I want to make sure we're going to be plugging this thing because, we've been talking about By the Block for who knows how long, and now she has a whole book series that is focusing on that. So, Joanna Jane, go ahead, plug it away so folks know.
Yes, everybody, we are doing an ebook series, and it is releasing this month, Volume 1 of Before You Build. Volume 1 is Before You Build, building from the heart of the community. It focuses on strategies that you can intentionally make when you are creating your real estate portfolio as well as supporting the community. It helps you to be able to, save some money by, learning from me and some of my coaches that have shared with me their do's and don'ts. And the most important thing is they also show you how you can be able to get access of different lanes of capital so you're not doing all of this from out of your own personal expenses. So there's so much information in the book. It's a quick read, but it's also interactive. You have some homework in there. Y'all know I'm going to give you some homework. You have homework, some to-do steps. And it's a really great foundation to volume 2 that will focus more on actually securing the bag before you buy the property. So if you want to go ahead and grab your copy, you need to get on our VIP list. The people that are on the VIP list are getting access to the book first. They are getting complete access. They're also going to get some discounts to our masterclass to read it. We're doing a Before You Build masterclass, so they're going to get discounts off of that as well. So we're going to make sure that you get the link so you can be able to sign up and be one of the first to be able to hear about the announcement and take advantage of all these discounts. Come on, y'all, we got to save these coins. So when you get a discount, you want to take advantage of it, right? So that's Before You Build.
All right. And so, Loves, you already know the best way, I would say, to get the link is to follow Joanna Jane, right?
Yeah.
So, Joanna, let them know how they can get in contact with you on social, on the web, all that good stuff.
You can follow me at The Real Joanna Jane on Instagram. Check the link in my bio. That's how you are going to be able to sign up for the VIP access. Also follow me on Facebook, Joanna Jane. You can scroll through my timeline. You'll see it. It's all there, Before You Build. And, you know, we have ads, sponsors, all types of stuff that's happening. My team is really doing their thing. I'm like, oh, this
Come through, team.
All for me. No, but really, it's for the people, guys. I'm sharing this information because I know that God is using me as a vessel. He is allowing me to just be a little mini mascot to the great work that we have to do within His kingdom. That is my personal belief, and I want to be able to share this information so you can go ahead and duplicate this in other cities, other countries, if possible, because it is possible. Land is one of the most spiritually connected things to us. And we have a right to make sure that we are building it the right way and breaking the systems that have blocked us brown people out for a very long time. So as the doors are now open and there are systems that are shifting and you know, old structures that have been in place keeping us out, those are gone. They are breaking. They're done. We need to walk in with information so we can be able to reap the reward. But we got to do it with sense. And we got to make sure that we're reading, because when you know better, you do better. So make sure that you get filled. Check out the link in my bio on Instagram. Sign up for the VIP access and get all the gems so you can go out and execute on purpose.
All right, there you have it, Loves. Joanna Jane joining us once again for another segment of Coins and Conversation as part of our Livelihood Initiative. Again, if you are not familiar with the Livelihood Initiative, you can head over to wordworks.com, okay? Wordworks.com, and find everything you need there. You know where to find Joanna Jane on social and all that good stuff. And shout out to the O'Hara development team, because, you know, teamwork make the dream work, all right? That's for sure. But anywho, we got to get ready to get out of here. Or excuse me, to let Joanna Jane get out of here. We still got some minutes left in the show. But Joanna Jane, appreciate you, and Loves. It's 47 after the hour. Taking this quick break. Save space on WURD Radio. We'll be back after these messages.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are undeniably, indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media. WURD. WURD Radio celebrates Black History Month with Black Artist Story 365. Brought to you by Keystone First.
Welcome to Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. Get into this episode where we explore the art and artistry of revolutionary poet Amiri Baraka. Part 1. Everett Leroy Jones was born in Newark, New Jersey. His father, Colt Leverett Jones, worked as a postal worker and lift operator. His mother, Anna Louise Russ, was a social worker. Jazz was something Baraka got interested in as a kid. He wanted to be just like Miles Davis. The influence of jazz can be seen throughout his work later in life. For college, he won a scholarship to Rutgers University in New Brunswick in 1951, but transferred in 1952 to Howard University. Before Amiri Baraka was Amiri Baraka, he was Leroy Jones. And at the time, Leroy moved to Manhattan, where in addition to attending Columbia University and the New School, he became a prominent artist in the Greenwich Village scene. In 1961, Leroy published his first major collection of poetry, preface to a 20-volume suicide note. His 1964 Obie Award-winning play, The Dutchman, which addressed racial tensions and American blacks' repressed hostility towards whites, gained him fame and acclaim. So that's it for this episode of Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. To hear more, tune in to The Envy McKee Show, Friday nights, 7 to 10 p.m., right here on WURD.
Black Artist Story 365 is brought to you by Keystone First. Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Are back listening to Save Space. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita. Just a few more minutes left in the show. It's just about time for us to get out of here. But listen, I'm so excited. Y'all gonna be hearing me talk it up. This Bet on Black 2021 campaign that WURD has come on as a partner with Black and Brown Founders, a nonprofit organization serving Latinx and Black founders, right? The great thing about this campaign is that there are a couple different aspects to it, right? So we have the social media side of it, but then we also have this radio side of it, right? Where we get to amplify the stories of Black founders by giving them space on the airwaves to tell their stories, to promote their businesses, so that we as a community can do what we say we do, right? Which is buy Black. It is absolutely impossible to get every Black founder that has submitted a nomination on the show during the month of February. So that's why I appreciate these different ways that we're getting their stories told, right? Over on Instagram, they are being featured on Black and Brown Founders Instagram, which is at BB Founders, as in Black and Brown, BB Founders, and also over on WURD social media, right? So on WURD's Instagram. So if you go to @onWURD, you'll also be able to check out some stories from Black founders. They may not always make it to the radio, right, to Save Space for an interview, but we have another way of being able to tell their story. And one such story was actually featured today over on Instagram, on BB Founders Instagram, using the hashtag BetOnBlack2021. And it features Marsha Clark, who is the founder of a company called Bosoms, BUZZOMS, Bosoms Clothing. And in this quote that she gave, I absolutely love, in response to the question, what does Bet on Black mean to you? And Marsha's response to that was, funding us is not a charity case or a good deed or for your donor advised fund. And she went on to share the backstory on why she created Bosoms, right? She got her MBA at Columbia Business School on a full scholarship because she wanted to really figure out this business idea. And while she was on a trip to Ghana with some of her classmates, they were at the beach, and she saw one of her friends in a bathing suit and said, like, oh, you have a big bust too, right? Because they both have small frames but a larger upper bust. And so that day she actually came up with the idea for Bosoms, and the goal was to create well-fitting clothes that celebrated the bodies of women with larger breasts. And so after doing a lot of customer discovery, she found that her customers don't only want clothes that fit. They want the freedom, to have versatility and flexibility in their wardrobe, whether that is, wearing certain clothes that don't require a bra, wearing the same clothes that maybe women of smaller frames can wear, while still looking, presentable, put together, all that good stuff. And so they have since been on a mission to create functional, braless, and supportive apparel. And so, just even learning about some of these stories and companies that exist is so dope, right? This is part of the reason why the campaign was created, was so that we can elevate these stories. So I do hope that you will join us in doing that, searching the hashtag BetOnBlack2021, sharing the post when you see them, but also visiting wordworks.com, because we'll be featuring some of their profiles on the site too. So we have all these different ways to make sure that these businesses and these Black founders are, gaining visibility and being elevated so that we can support them. So anywho, it's about time for me to get out of here. I've talked my head off and probably your ear off, and I love you and appreciate you for it. But a special thank you to our guests for choosing a safe space with us today and making today's show possible. Pamela Prophet of Asia Couture Intimate Events, and of course, Joanna Jane. Much love and appreciation to Kayla J for holding down the phone lines, the board, everything in between, navigating the tech difficulties and all that good stuff. If you haven't already, you definitely want to follow Word Radio across all platforms, at 4Word on Facebook and at onWURD over on Instagram and YouTube. And you can check me out on IG and Facebook as well, at Sincerely Sarita, SYREETA. Kayla J is at KALAJ_music nerd. Be sure to keep your dials locked to 96.1 FM 900 AM, because up next it's Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for another edition of Safe Space. But until then, you already know the deal. Taste your words before you feed them to someone else, and always, 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 y'all, empathize, empower, and evolve. Peace.